Hey students, this is Miss Schmidt. If you're watching this, hopefully you are ready for your conclusion paragraph. That is where you should be. We have written our body paragraphs. If you're still working on those, finish those today. I'm going to explain what you need for your conclusion paragraph. And if you can't get that finished today, your essay is due on Monday, so you should have lots to do. If you are finished with your essay, there is a packet, a reading packet with questions that you can do that the sub has for you. But not very many of you are finished with your essay. Also, if you're finished with your essay, you should have a peer read it and review it for you to look for conventions and check your thesis statement and all of the major aspects of your essay. So for the conclusion paragraph, this is paragraph number 4. You have an introduction and 2 body paragraphs, and now you're ready for your conclusion. You are going to restate your thesis. You can write it straight from your introduction here, or you can try and kind of reword it and paraphrase it, but you need to make sure that I know whether or not you thought Reconstruction was a success, and you restate your 2 topics that you talked about, and that it can be done in the first sentence of your conclusion paragraph. After your first sentence, you're going to summarize each of your body paragraphs. All right, so explain in a sentence the main idea of your body paragraphs and how it violated or helped African American rights. All right, so I gave, and then you're going to kind of tie all of your ideas together after you go through what your topics were. All right, so some ideas for your concluding statements. You could point out how what you discussed violated African American rights or found loopholes in it, or which amendments were unconstitutional, and then you can tie it all together, maybe using examples from today. You could perhaps talk about if you think that equality exists in today's society. So I put together an example conclusion. So my first sentence, I have realized that a lot of my examples are swinging to the side of that Reconstruction policies were not successful. So I decided to do this example stating that Reconstruction policies were successful. So my first sentence is restating my thesis. Reconstruction policies were successful in giving African American rights because of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments and sharecropping. So in my paper, I would have talked about the amendments as well as sharecropping. If I didn't talk about those, I should not be mentioning them in my conclusion paragraph. Your conclusion paragraph is not the place to bring up a topic for the first time. Okay, so I've got my thesis stated at the top. Then I go on to explain the things I just talked about in a sentence or 2. The 13th Amendment freed slaves, and the 14th Amendment made freedmen citizens and equal under law. Soon after, African American men were granted the right to vote with the 15th Amendment. After being given these rights, they were also allowed to earn a living through sharecropping. These acts prove Reconstruction was a success. All right, so that would be an example of a paragraph that is concluding my opinion that Reconstruction did work because of the Reconstruction amendments being passed, as well as sharecropping provided freed slaves a way to make money. All right. So after you've written your conclusion, you need to proofread. All right. I have graded a lot of your introduction paragraphs, actually almost all of them, and I will be counting off for any word that is Reconstruction, African American, civil rights, amendments, and that's not capitalized. So make sure you go through and do all of that. So if you have any questions or you need help with, feel free to email me. Most of you can just type right in the document. If you're in hour 2, make sure you shared your document with me because I had you make a copy, but all the other hours should be able just to type right in your document and then I can see it. All right. But if you're in hour 2, make sure you share it with me. I put my email address down here to make sure that you had that. Here are the things that need to be capitalized. These are the events, groups, and people that are proper nouns and should be capitalized. All right. You should have this on Google Classroom, and you should be able to look through this anytime you need. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. These are due on Monday. If you have questions, I will be in the classroom early on Monday, so feel free to come and see me. Maybe if your Wildcat Hour teacher would let you, if you have a question about your essay. We won't be working on these in class anymore. So you will have to come up with other times, maybe during seminar next week. You could come see me if you need some extra support, but we are finished using class time with these, or on these, and they will be due on Monday. Have a great weekend, and go Chiefs!